Hi, I'm Heumann with Bone Daddy Blade WerX. I'm here in my backyard, excited to get out and answer a few questions for you about the Axxis today. The Axxis is a revolutionary hand axe design that boasts all of the functional versatility of a survival knife and the awesome chopping power of a full-size axe with none of the dead weight of either. As you can see here, it's one solid piece with no moving parts, no handle so to speak of, and an integral grip, so that all the surface area is used to the maximum functionality. The Axxis Hand Axe is made out of D2 tool steel, which we selected specifically for toughness and durability as well as corrosion resistance. Overall, the Axxis is 7 inches in total length, with 2 distinct blades totaling over 5 inches in length, which is pretty astounding if you think about it. From a tool that is total 7 inches to have 5 inches of blade length, it's pretty crazy. The reason we're able to get away with that is, as you can see, there is no separate handle or grip like you would see with a traditional large knife or axe. Instead, with the Axxis, the grip is integral to the frame itself. And this ultimately allows for a much greater range of diversity in terms of your grip options. You can hold it in a wide array of ways that you might not be able to hold a knife or axe traditionally. And that allows you to be able to use these two edges in, again, ways that you wouldn't be able to use a knife or axe. There are currently 6 different aesthetic choices for the Axxis in terms of finish, ranging from light silver all the way to black. And there's 2 different texture finishes as well between the Moon Crater, which you see here, and the StoneAge chisel. Beyond the Axxis, we have a number of other hand axe designs that are currently in the works. So if you don't see what you like here, keep an eye out, because we have some really other gnarly designs coming out of the pipeline here shortly after the Axxis will be launched in February. The Axxis was designed to replace your primary wood chopper, and by this I mean it is most effective for wood processing. As a hand axe, it's great for small limbs, branches. If you're trying to build a shelter, process small wood for a fire, perfect for that. However, if you need to chop down larger branches, or trying to build a log cabin in the woods, or whatever your plan is, it can also be hafted through the channel mounting wedge right here to make a full-size axe, which can be used for felling much larger trees and processing much larger wood. That being said, if your interest is not in chopping wood at all, because of the diverse grip options that the Axxis affords you, you can still use it like you would any ordinary knife for processing meat, cutting leather, doing whatever type of field work you might need that would require a more intimate relationship with your blade. So the Axxis was inspired by StoneAge hand axes, but the broader question of what compelled me to create the Axxis in the first place was actually one of the age-old debates that I've seen raging on the various blade and knife forums on the internet, and that is the discussion between big knife versus camp axe. For any survivalist that's trying to reduce the weight in their pack, ultimately you may have to play that triage game where you have to select between one of your prized big knives that has served you well in the past and also an axe that has worked really well for you in the past. And if you're trying to keep the weight down in your bag, you might simply not be able to choose to carry both of those. So that's kind of that as a starting point, you know, versus trying to pick between those 2 tools. I asked myself, what if there was a third option that existed that kind of split the difference between those 2 and offered kind of the functionality of both of them, but somehow improved upon them and also reduced the weight. And with that kind of as a starting point, that was where I think the beginning of the inspiration for the Axxis really came from. I would say the primary difference between the Axxis Hand Axe and other survival knives and camp axes you find on the market is its size. Considering its amazing chopping ability, both as a hand axe and when hafted as a full-size axe, it is only 14 ounces in total weight. When you compare that against many of the other large knives and camp axes that are available, often they are well over a pound, sometimes even 2 or 3 pounds for certain axes. So the fact that this tool can do what it does at the size it is and the weight it is pretty remarkable. The Axxis is designed to replace the axe in your backpack and the big knife that you carry in your backpack whenever you're going into the bush. So If you're a thru hiker, a camper, a backpacker, a woodscraft person, a bushman, really any time that you'd be going into the woods where you might need to be doing any type of woodcraft work, wood processing, or just need the reliability of a knife that won't fail you, the Axxis is an easy go-to. The Axxis is designed to be carried in a wide range of ways depending on how you are hoping to use it. If you have it mounted to an axe, obviously the best way to carry it would be with the sheath on, the clip securely fastened, and I would remove the carabiner so that you don't have it flopping around when you're carrying it on the haft. That being said, if you have the Axxis unhafted, then the best way to carry it would be hooked to its carabiner and clipped to a belt loop or your waist so that it can swing freely and or be slid into a pocket and pulled out for quick use. The process of maintaining the Axxis is actually pretty simple and straightforward. As you can see, there aren't any handle slabs or pins, nothing that will come loose. Furthermore, it has a titanium nitride coating, which is known throughout the industry as one of the toughest, most durable surface coatings that you can have on a fixed blade. In fact, it is actually a chemically bonded process, so it isn't just like a spray-on coating that you get with some of these other guys. This one is connected to the metal down at the molecular level. And that will help protect the metal, of course, from corrosion and any type of rust or exposure that might occur while you're out in the bush. Furthermore, we also chose D2 steel, which in and of itself is close to being a stainless steel. So your maintenance for this guy is going to be pretty minimal. I'd say once you finish after a hard day of use, wipe it down. You can run it under fresh water or any type of water source that you have if you happen to be next to a stream. Rinse off any dirt, debris, things like that, and once it's clean, just lightly dry it off before putting it back in the sheath and you should be good to go. Alright, each Axxis will come obviously with the Axxis itself, as well as its sheath and carabiner. As far as the specific type of carabiner that we will be including, we're still doing our research and seeing who we're going to be partnering up with. We're looking to get the highest quality carabiner that we can get that can actually be used for a wide array of other functions beyond just simply carrying the Axxis, so that if you so choose to use it in a different capacity, it will still be a reliable carabiner. Currently, the Axxis is not available for purchase. However, our Kickstarter campaign will be going live on February 20th of 2020. So here, just in a few months, you should be able to sign up and get in line to get your very own Axxis.